A good comparison because it shows that countries that are looking for it will find cases of human trafficking. There are also countries that report a small number of victims, but it does not mean that human trafficking does not exist there. It just means that we do not identify the cases. The expert also says that although Romania is doing well when it comes to the number of convictions, their length has been quite short in recent years. Indeed, there are quite a few convictions, but in terms of length, they are of 3 to 3.5 years. The maximum convictions are very short. It means a lot of the sentences were suspended. I think in 2020 or 2021, 20% of human trafficking convictions were suspended. It means that 1 in 5 traffickers will not serve any time in prison, so they can still do exactly what they did before, and they just learned how not to get caught. The report of the National Agency Against Trafficking in Persons in Romania identified 500 victims in 2022, including Romanian citizens who were subject to human trafficking both at home and abroad. Stefan Coman describes the vulnerable situations that can make a person more likely to fall victim to human trafficking. Any vulnerability becomes a vulnerability for human trafficking. That is, if a person is economically vulnerable, has difficulty integrating into the labor market, they will be vulnerable to human trafficking because they can easily be convinced under the pretext of a well-paid job to go somewhere where they are not safe and then exploited. If they are vulnerable with regard to alcohol consumption, they automatically become vulnerable to human trafficking. A person who is emotionally vulnerable becomes vulnerable to human trafficking. It is clear that in terms of sexual exploitation, by which I mean any form of sexual abuse, the victims of sexual violence become vulnerable to human trafficking much more likely than in the examples I mentioned earlier.